Have you ever considered remarriage but found yourself questioning whether it is the right choice? Remarriage later in life is a vastly different experience compared to when you're younger, and there are several truths that people often overlook until it's too late. Whether you've been single for some time, recently divorced, or widowed, remarriage comes with unique challenges that can impact your finances, relationships, and overall happiness in ways you may not have considered. In this video, we will explore 5 essential truths you need to know before remarrying after 60. These insights could profoundly change the way you view love, commitment, and long-term security during this stage of life. Too often, individuals rush into remarriage without thinking about how it might affect their future, only to find themselves facing unexpected stress and complications. But when armed with the right knowledge, you can make the best decision for yourself, one that brings fulfillment, peace, and stability. Stay tuned until the end, as understanding these 5 truths can help you avoid unnecessary pain and ensure that any new relationship you enter truly aligns with your needs, whether you are considering remarriage soon or just exploring the possibility. You will want to hear this, so let's begin. First, let's discuss the financial realities that shift after the age of 60. One of the biggest surprises people encounter when remarrying later in life is how their financial situation can be impacted. Many assume that remarriage is simply about love and companionship, but in reality, marriage also involves legal commitments and financial responsibilities. If you're not careful, it could affect your retirement savings, Social Security benefits, pensions, and even what you leave behind for your children or loved ones. The last thing you want is to marry with the belief that it will make life easier, only to realize later that it has complicated your financial future in ways you never expected. A significant consideration is how remarriage can affect Social Security benefits. Many are unaware that if you're receiving benefits based on your former spouse's work record, those benefits could be reduced or even eliminated upon remarriage. This can be particularly shocking if you rely on those payments to maintain your lifestyle. Additionally, survivor benefits and pensions often come with restrictions, some of which may become void upon remarriage. If either you or your new spouse is receiving pension payments, it's crucial to carefully review the terms before making any decisions. Beyond government benefits, there are also issues surrounding retirement savings and estate planning when you remarry. Your financial situation is no longer just about you, it now involves your new spouse's assets, debts, and spending habits. Even if you and your new spouse maintain separate bank accounts, state laws can affect how assets are divided in the event of a divorce or death. If you have children or grandchildren, you'll also want to consider how a new marriage could impact their inheritance rights. Many people think they can simply leave their estate to their children according to their plans, but remarriage often changes the legal rights regarding the distribution of property and wealth. Take, for example, William, a 73-year-old man who remarried after being widowed. He always assumed his children would inherit his estate. However, after remarrying, he discovered that his new wife had legal claims to his assets. This meant that his children might receive less than he originally intended. William had to navigate difficult conversations and changes regarding his estate plans, learning firsthand how remarriage can complicate the inheritance process for loved ones. From a legal perspective, ensuring that everyone you care about is protected is crucial when considering remarriage. It is essential to take the time to consult with a financial advisor or estate planner to ensure you fully understand how it will impact your financial situation, pensions, and any assets you plan to leave behind. While these discussions may not seem romantic, they are vital for securing your future. The dynamics of blending families can become more complex when remarrying in later life. You are not only merging 2 lives, but also combining histories and expectations from 2 families. While love may unite the couple, family relationships can introduce unforeseen complications. Unlike younger couples who are building their lives together, individuals over 60 often enter a new marriage with grown children and grandchildren. The family dynamic, established over decades, is not always as smooth as you might expect. One of the greatest challenges is how grown children react to the new marriage. Even if they want you to be happy, they may struggle with feelings of loyalty to your previous spouse or be concerned about how the new relationship might affect family traditions, finances, or inheritance. Some may embrace your new partner with open arms, while others may harbor resentment, suspicion, or even worry about your health. These feelings are entirely natural, but if not addressed carefully, they can lead to long-term stress that affects not only your marriage but also your entire family. In addition to children, relationships with grandchildren can also change. If you've spent many years being a primary grandparent figure, introducing a new spouse might disrupt that bond. Some grandchildren may accept the change, while others might need time to adjust. The family of your new spouse may also experience similar challenges. If they have children or grandchildren of their own, blending traditions and expectations will require patience and understanding. Another crucial factor to consider is how remarriage affects inheritance and finances. It is not uncommon for children to worry that a new spouse might alter an existing will, change financial plans, or even receive a portion of what they believed was meant for them. While money may not be the focal point of your new relationship, it often becomes a hidden concern for family members. Many conflicts arise not out of greed, but because children want to ensure their parents' legacy is honored as initially intended. Take Emily's example. At 67, she remarried after more than a decade of being single. She assumed her children would be happy for her, but instead, she found herself navigating uncomfortable conversations about holiday traditions, inheritance, and even where she would live. While she knew her children loved her, she quickly realized that her new marriage required open discussions and reassurances to maintain harmony in the family. If you are considering remarriage, take the time to speak with your family. Be open about your intentions, listen to their concerns, and set clear expectations about what will and will not change. It may take time for everyone to adjust, but addressing these concerns early on can prevent misunderstandings and resentment later. The key is to approach these conversations with patience, honesty, and to ensure your decision is about finding companionship while still honoring the relationships you have built throughout your life. If you're still watching this video and find these insights valuable, please comment below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Now, let's move on to point number 3. Emotional expectations are different at this stage in life. Relationships look very different now compared to many decades ago. When you were younger, marriage often revolved around building a life together, raising children, buying a house, and advancing careers. But after 60, priorities shift. Marriage is no longer about starting from scratch. It's about friendship, emotional support, and maintaining independence while sharing your life with someone. This shift in dynamics is something many people don't fully consider before remarrying, and it can lead to unexpected challenges. One of the biggest differences is the level of independence each person brings into the marriage. By the time you reach your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you've likely established routines and a lifestyle that suits you. You may have your own home, personal hobbies, and a daily rhythm that makes you feel comfortable. A new marriage introduces another person's habits, preferences, and expectations into your world, and adjusting to this is not always easy. Some might assume that remarriage is as simple as finding the right partner, but in reality, it requires careful navigation of personal boundaries, space, and individual identity. Unlike younger couples who might build financial security together, later-in-life marriages often involve two people who are financially stable and emotionally self-sufficient. This means that the reasons for coming together are based on love, friendship, and shared experiences rather than external achievements. However, this also means both partners need to be clear about their expectations. How much time do they want to spend together? How will they handle disagreements? How do they maintain personal independence while nurturing the relationship? Another factor to consider is the emotional baggage from past experiences. If you've lost a spouse or gone through a difficult divorce, those memories and emotions don't simply vanish when you remarry. Both you and your new partner bring decades of history, previous relationships, family ties, and deeply rooted perspectives on love and commitment. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean that openness, patience, and understanding are crucial. The way you communicate, express affection, or handle disagreements may be shaped by your past experiences. Learning to navigate these differences is key to a successful second marriage. Take Brian's example. At 76, he found love again after being widowed for many years. But what he didn't expect was how different this new relationship would be from his first marriage. His late wife had been his partner for decades, and the way they lived together as a couple had become deeply ingrained. Meanwhile, his new wife had been divorced for many years and valued her independence in ways that Brian had never encountered before. They took time to find their rhythm, balancing closeness with personal space, communicating without comparing the present to the past, and fully accepting the unique dynamics of their new marriage. If you're thinking about remarrying, ask yourself what you truly want from this relationship. Are you seeking companionship without too many changes in your daily habits, or are you open to navigating new dynamics? Reflecting on these questions will help you approach remarriage with a clearer sense of what you need and expect, ensuring that your new relationship aligns with your emotional goals at this stage of life. At this stage in life, are you prepared to share a home, or do you prefer to maintain separate living spaces? Are you emotionally ready for the reality of blending two stable lives? Answering these questions can help ensure that your next marriage is built on mutual understanding rather than unmet expectations. Number 4, legal considerations are more important than you might think. Marriage is not only an emotional commitment but also a legal contract, and when you remarry after 60, the legal aspects of that contract can be much more complex than when you were younger. Many people assume that love is all it takes for a marriage to succeed, but failing to understand the legal implications could lead to unexpected consequences down the road. From prenuptial agreements to medical decision-making rights, there are important legal issues that need to be addressed before you say "I do." One of the first things to consider is how remarriage affects your estate planning. When you marry your spouse, they may automatically gain certain legal rights to your assets, even if you intend to leave them to your children, grandchildren, or other loved ones. Without a clear plan in place, your estate could be divided in ways you never anticipated. This is why many people choose to update their will or set up a trust before remarrying, to ensure that their assets are distributed according to their wishes. Another important legal consideration is medical decision-making. If you become ill or incapacitated, who will have the right to make medical choices on your behalf? In many cases, a spouse is automatically prioritized over grown children or other family members. This could cause tension, particularly if your new spouse and children disagree about your care. An advance directive or medical power of attorney can clarify your wishes and prevent potential conflicts before they arise. A prenuptial agreement is another tool that can provide clarity and protection for both partners. While some may hesitate to bring up a prenuptial agreement due to concerns that it seems unromantic, it can actually help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that both parties enter the marriage with clear expectations. A well-structured prenuptial agreement can outline how assets, debts, and financial responsibilities will be handled, minimizing the risk of disputes later on. Take Eleanor, for example. At 67, she fell in love and was eager to remarry, but she also had significant assets that she wanted to leave to her children. Her fiancé and she had an open conversation and decided to draft a prenuptial agreement that clearly defined their financial boundaries. Not only did this give her peace of mind, but it also reassured her children that their inheritance would be secure. Legal matters are not always easy to talk about, but they are essential. If you're considering remarriage, sit down with an attorney who specializes in estate planning and family law. Discussing these matters early on can prevent confusion and stress later, allowing you to focus on what truly matters, building a full and secure relationship. If you're still watching this video and find these insights valuable, please comment below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Now, let's move on to point number 5. As we grow older, our understanding of happiness evolves. In our younger years, marriage often symbolizes building a future, raising a family, securing financial stability, or creating a life together from the ground up. However, after 60, happiness is no longer about building, but rather about maintaining, enjoying, and finding fulfillment in the life we've already created. This means that before remarrying, it's crucial to ask yourself if this relationship aligns with the kind of happiness you truly seek at this stage in life. Many people believe that remarriage will automatically bring them joy, but the truth is, happiness in later years comes from different sources than it did before. For some, it's about companionship and sharing everyday life with someone. For others, it's about maintaining independence while having a partner for special moments. For some, it's about preserving their lifestyle and not having to compromise on long-established habits. The key is understanding what happiness looks like for you now, not what it meant 30 or 40 years ago. One of the biggest mistakes people make when remarrying after 60 is assuming that love alone will solve their loneliness. While friendship is wonderful, it's essential to recognize that fulfillment comes from within. If you are not happy being alone, a marriage won't necessarily change that. In fact, if the reality of sharing your life with someone feels more limiting than you anticipated. Another consideration is lifestyle compatibility at this stage in life. You may have well-established routines, how you spend your mornings, how you like to travel, or even how you manage your social life. If your new partner has a completely different lifestyle, it can create conflict instead of happiness. Some people are more spontaneous, while others prefer structure. Some enjoy quiet evenings at home, while others thrive in social settings. If you and your potential partner are not aligned in these areas, you should reflect on how much you're willing to adjust, and whether those adjustments will ultimately make you happier. Take Robert's example. At 73, he met a wonderful woman and quickly remarried, believing that friendship would fill the void left by his previous marriage. Over time, however, he realized that his new wife had very different expectations. She wanted to travel frequently, while he preferred staying close to home. She was very social, while he enjoyed quiet time. While they cared for each other, they struggled to find common ground, and Robert often felt he had lost some of the freedom and comfort he valued in his years of solitude. Before remarrying, take the time to reflect on what truly makes you happy. Do you want a traditional marriage where you share everything, or do you prefer companionship with your own space? Would you be happier living independently but still maintaining a committed relationship? There's no right or wrong answer, only what feels right for you. The most important thing is to ensure that any decision you make supports your long-term happiness, rather than disrupting the peace and contentment you've built in your life. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed about remarriage after 60. Remarriage can be a wonderful experience, but it's also a decision that comes with important realities that many people overlook until they are already in the midst of it. Financial considerations, family dynamics, emotional expectations, legal implications, and your personal definition of happiness are all factors that deserve careful thought before committing to such a life-changing decision. The truth is, marriage at this stage of life is not about following old traditions, but about making choices that truly serve you. Some people find deep fulfillment in remarrying, while others realize they are happiest when maintaining their independence or exploring alternative forms of companionship. The most important thing is that whichever path you choose, it must align with your values, lifestyle, and long-term happiness. If today's video has given you something to reflect on, I encourage you to take your time before making any decisions. Have the necessary conversations with your loved ones, seek financial and legal guidance, and most importantly, listen to your own needs. There is no rush. This stage of life is about embracing what truly makes you happy, not what others expect or what society deems normal. Thank you for joining us today. We would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you've learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your thoughts are very important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments brings us tremendous motivation and encouragement. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.